Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Suneha, your host for today. Welcome to our webinar titled US Immigration Reforms Could Increase IT Salaries of MSP Employees. Are you ready? As host of today's webinar and on behalf of all of us at Fourth Dimension Technologies, we truly look forward to today's session. Leading our discussion are Miami-based RJ Brownlow, who is our US Business Development Manager, and Jagan, who is our CEO and founder of Fourth Dimension Technologies. RJ will begin by outlining key issues thrust upon our industry, resulting from the new US administration's stated goals. Jagan will follow by providing practical, cost-effective ways that Fourth Dimension can help you meet those challenges. We will wrap up with a question and answer segment. As you can see, there is place for you to submit your questions on the right side of your screen. RJ, you're up.
Great. Thank you very much, Sunil, and thank you everyone for joining us for this important discussion. The first slide talks about what is an H-1B visa. And the reason we wanted to cover this is that a lot of us in our industry, MSP providers, unfortunately think that this issue doesn't affect our business when in fact it does, and I'll explain in more detail in the next few slides. An H-1B visa is a non-immigrant status employee working in the United States from a foreign country. It allows U.S. employers to hire foreign resources in what are known as specialty occupations: science, technology, engineering, and medical field. The H-1B visa, and one of the controversies associated with it, is that because the foreign worker or foreign resource is sponsored by the company providing the visa with the United States government, that pretty much locks that person into that company. The effect of that is it also has an effect on the wage rate that that person is being paid. Because if that relationship with that employer diminishes, that worker then becomes a non-immigrant or illegal immigrant in the United States, has to find another employer to sponsor them, or have to return to their home country. And unfortunately, some companies have been known to take advantage of that by providing them less than not livable wages, but less wages than what their resource skills would normally require. To further exacerbate the problem is that there are an estimated 500,000 open tech positions currently available in the United States, and only 43,000 U.S. citizens capable of filling them. Next slide, Balaji. One of the issues that we're facing now that causes us to want to put this in front of you and raise the red flag in terms of we really need to start preparing for it is that the new administration previously circulated a draft immigration plan to cap the H-1B visa hiring pool at 65,000 per year. And if you think back to the numbers we just talked about, 500,000 open positions, that 65,000 cap still leaves a tremendous gap in needed resources and available skill set. There was another immigration draft law proposed by Congressman Daryl Issa out of California to increase the minimum wage of foreign workers from an existing level of $60,000 per year to an annual of $100,000 per year. The driving force behind that is that because H-1B visa holders are locked into a company, as I mentioned before, they're typically brought in at lower wages than what their skill set requires. And that has an overall effect of suppressing IT wages in the United States. And this particular bill by Congressman Daryl Issa, is designed to raise that for both domestic and foreign workers. And the objective of it is to raise the wage level of U.S. workers in particular. This is now becoming more and more of a reality and not just a theoretical discussions. As evident by, on April 18th, the Trump administration issued an executive order mandating review of the entire H-1B visa program, consistent with the issues I just talked about. What that does is that pretty much restricts the number of visas that are coming into the United States and makes it more difficult for foreign companies to bring resources to the United States. The effect that that's having on foreign companies is that they are looking for ways to deal with the changes that are taking place now in the United States. And one of the biggest industries that's affected by it are actually systems integrators out of India. So the IT sector in India, for example, is a major economic engine for that particular country. So they are looking for ways to work with the U.S. government in anticipation of the increases in wages, in anticipation of not being able to send more resources to the United States. Next slide, Balaji. By hiring U.S. workers. So these IT companies are in response to Donald Trump's Buy American, Hire American philosophy. They have announced, for example, Infosys, one of the largest, plans to hire 10,000 U.S. workers within the next year alone, U.S. IT workers. The president of Cognizant, another large systems integrator, hired 14,000 U.S. citizens in 2016 and plans to hire perhaps twice that many in 2017 and beyond. What does that mean to you? Next slide, Balaji. What does that mean to you? And the question is, are you ready? If the proposed immigration reforms become a reality, the effect of that is going to be is that it's going to raise the IT salary levels across the board. Solution architects, developers, programmers, project managers, help desk resources. All of those skill sets are going to be recruited by foreign firms to hire U.S. citizens, and that's going to have a dramatic effect on wage levels up and down the technology spectrum. So the question again is, if that does become a reality, how then does that affect our service providers' existing service level agreements that perhaps sometimes occur or cover 2 or 3 years? As the lack of foreign talent increases demand for local citizens, are you in a position to pay higher wages to compete in that increasingly shrinking pool of U.S. talent? Will employee retention become more challenging? And how will you be able to manage within your targeted margin range? There are potential solutions, and we'll walk through a couple of them. Next point, Balaji. Increase wages. That may or may not be feasible to you. Next point, Balaji. Improve productivity. Your teams may be already stretched. You can extend your work hours, but depending on what level of workers you're talking about, particularly if they're hourly paid workers, such as many help desk resources are, you then get into overtime issues, thereby increasing your costs. You can always increase the size of your team, but then that also has an effect on your operational complexity, which also increases your overall cost. Are there other possible solutions? We think so, and that's really the objective behind this presentation, and that is to talk to you about how we can help you with our remote delivery model. And for that, I'm going to turn it over to Jargon. Jargon?
Yeah. Thank you, RJ, and many thanks to all the participants for taking the time out. RJ talked about the impending immigration reforms and the potential impact it could have on MSPs. We also mentioned about companies like Infosys planning to hire 10,000 American citizens. In fact, as late as 2 days ago, Infosys has taken about 35,000 square feet of office in Indianapolis. RJ also mentioned about some of the possible choices available to you. But are these the only choices available? Isn't there any other way to address this? We have a way. We think we have a way to do this while maintaining your service levels, lowering your cost of operations, and addressing the skill gap, all of it together. And the solution is to move a part of your operations to an offshore model where the services are delivered offshore from a network operations center. This diagram depicts a typical offshore delivery model. On the left side of your screen is your regular office, where you have an existing team managing your client's infrastructure. Our offshore team works out of our network operations center here in Chennai in India. Our team would work on your help desk tools, create tickets, and manage escalations. They also work on your existing RMM tool to handle incidents. This team in India will work seamlessly with your team in the US, and it will work like an extended arm of your US team. Given the cost structures in India, this could significantly bring down your operation cost. One question which may come to your mind, hey, will this work for me? I think the proof of the pudding is the eating. And at this juncture, I'd like to present a case study of what we've done for a MSP based in Colorado. While the clients demanded better service from this MSP was faced with multiple problems. Recruiting skilled engineers, more importantly, retaining them. Engineers were stretched beyond work hours and therefore prone to missing alerts. This engagement started as a simple monitoring service to make sure that no alerts were missed. And today, what started as a pure monitoring service has now graduated to incident management and problem resolution as well. Today, we manage close to 20,000 devices for this client. We manage 22 client environments. The service window, 15 hours a day, 365 days a year. From a technology standpoint, we manage multiple operating systems, Windows, Linux, AIX, VMware. We handle a complex network infrastructure, servers, and storage. Today, our team is an integral part of the delivery team and work more seamlessly between the two teams here in India and the US. This MSP has seen significant improvement in their SLAs and, more importantly, great savings in their cost of operations. This has enabled them to focus on new businesses, getting new client logos, and more importantly, process improvements, which normally tends to take a back seat in the heat of the operations. No wonder the client has had a lot of good word to say about the work we do, our association, and also the success of this model. So how do we help MSPs like yours? For starters, we recommend that you offload your rudimentary tasks to us. Let us handle your L1 and maybe some L2 activities. This will help you engage your team in the US with more challenging work, and in the process, get more value out of them. This will also help your team work on this model and make sure that the model will mature with time. You could also justify paying your people more. This could also help you retain your employees. And most importantly, your cost could come down by almost 60 to 65%. This is a typical transition model where we could probably start handling your night shifts or your off work hours, monitoring the environment and escalating it to your team. And then gradually in phase 2, we progress to L2 level escalations based on an SOP, and finally in phase 3 to a full-blown 24/7 L1 and L2 support. What kind of environments are we capable of managing? From a data center perspective, we can handle multiple operating systems, virtual environments, both VMware and hypervisor, messaging and collaboration, servers, storage, and backup. We can also handle complex network environments. We've been a Cisco partner for more than 10 years. We can also handle wireless devices, routers, and switches. From a security standpoint, we can manage firewalls, intrusion detection systems, antivirus, patch management, even mobile device management. How do we have all these skills? Being a system integrator for close to 26 years and working with multiple vendors like Cisco, VMware, EMC, RS8, Symantec, to name a few, has given us tremendous exposure to these technologies. And also working with multiple complex environments over the last 26 years has helped us hone our skills. With an established managed services practice, today we manage close to 200,000 devices across 300 clients, and all this with about 150 certified technical resources. So much so, they have been extremely confident of delivering significant business value to your organization. Values in terms of operational efficiency, cost saving, improved customer service, and most importantly, improved profitability. We are so upbeat about this model that we believe we even offer a 2-week POC, a proof of concept for you to try it on a no obligation basis. RJ, you want to add something to the offer that we have on the plate?
Sure, I'll be happy to. Thank you, Jargon. Here in the United States, we have a saying of putting your money where your mouth is, and that's exactly what our 2-week free proof of concept is reflective of. I want to also point out that the case study that Jargon talked about, the actual end user client is a CenturyLink. So the effect of making a statement is that a company that large, we're doing quite a bit of the work that Jargon spoke about through a MSP for a major U.S. corporation. The point I'm trying to make is that you can rest assured that we're very good at what we do. We're a very capable company, a very ethical company, so much so that one of our partners trusts us with one of their largest clients. I'll throw it back to you, Sunil, for questions.
Thank you, RJ. Thank you, RJ and Jagan, for this extremely interesting presentation. Now we're open for questions. We'd love to hear out any queries that you might have. Please note that you can submit your questions on the right side of your screen. So we have one question here from Kenneth, who would like to know how much time and effort goes into transitioning.
I'll take that, Sneha. A typical transition model to start with is first to get the email IDs of the offshore team in the system. And once we have the standard operating procedures in place, the team should be up and running. And based on our past experience, we think a typical 15-day engagement would be required to transition. The start transition and start the initial phase of the work.
All right, great. Thanks, Jagan. So we have one more question here from Susan, who would like to know what security measures we have in place.
I need to take that again. Thank you, Sneha. Actually, we have our network operations center is not just ISO certified, it is 27,000 certified as well. And we have both access control and the security monitored NOC facility. So I'm sorry, protected with a firewall and a point-to-point VPN connected to your infrastructure. We offer additional protection by ensuring that the networks are both physically isolated across our multiple customers. I hope that answers your question.
Again, thank you, Jagan. It seems that this is all the questions we have at the moment. If anyone else has any more questions, feel free to reach out to us in our email ID provided on your screens in front of you. We thank you all very much for being part of this presentation today, and we look forward to doing business with you, hopefully. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.